Today, we will be looking at probably one of the richest characters in The Rookie. This is, of course, Aaron Thorsen. And in this video, I will be breaking down where Aaron's wealth came from. And by the end of this video, hopefully, we can answer the question of how much money does Aaron Thorsen really have? Let's start with what Aaron makes as a police officer with the LAPD. During seasons 4 and 5, Aaron is a rookie, which is typically the lowest paid tier. Based on the Join LAPD website, rookie officers typically earn around $91,224 per year. Considering this is the lowest paid tier with the LAPD, this is a relatively good salary, especially considering the fact that you are being paid to learn. So for a lot of people, this would be a good salary, as it even surpasses the average salary in the US, which is $68,700 per year. But for Aaron Thorsen, this salary is nowhere near what he used to make. For instance, in Season 5, Episode 14, Death Sentence, Aaron deals with being cut off from his family's money. It's through this storyline that people really get to see how privileged Aaron really is, as we get an insight into his spending habits. I mean, who spends $500 on dry cleaning per week? At the end of this episode, despite Lucy's best efforts to help Aaron, including creating an Excel budget spreadsheet, Aaron goes back to relying on his mother's money. But this isn't a surprise, as Aaron's parents have always been generous with money when it comes to their son. Aaron is the only child of Yvonne Thorsen and Lincoln Thorsen, who were huge names in the music industry. Yvonne first appears in Season 4, Episode 11, to talk with her son about developing a reality show based on their family. From this, we can immediately see Yvonne's powerful influence on the media industry, as she is able to reach out to TV producers to have her own show created. Having the opportunity to star in a reality TV show not only comes with immense fame, but also a big paycheck. Depending on the level of fame, reality stars can earn anywhere between $10,000 to $100,000 per episode. I think that most people would agree that a show surrounding the Thorsens would most likely have been a success, as reality TV thrives on controversy, and the Thorsen family has that in abundance. This means that if Every Rose Has Its Thorsen had taken off, Aaron could have been as rich as the Kardashians. But the intrusive nature of reality shows can be hard to handle, and it seemed to be something Aaron strongly disliked. Therefore, after solving Patrick's murder in the episode Real Crime, he decided to get rid of the show, as he no longer needed the show to boost his reputation. Let's assume that there were 20 episodes of Every Rose Has Its Thorsen, and have an average of $50,000 per episode. That would be over $1 million earned by Aaron. Despite this failed project, the Thorsen family still has immense wealth due to Aaron's father's music career. Lincoln Thorsen is introduced in the show's widely disliked documentary episode, Real Crime. And through this episode, we get a little bit of backstory on Lincoln's music career as one half of the rap duo Flex and Flow. Much of Thorsen's wealth can be attributed to the fact that Flex and Flow had a platinum single named Make the Noise, that according to the show became one of the most iconic singles in the late 90s. Despite it being an impressive feat, having a platinum single doesn't necessarily mean that the artist will earn a lot of money from the song, as Lincoln would have only received about 10 to 20% of the total profits due to the multitude of people and companies involved in the music industry. However, this song's popularity would have allowed Flex and Flow to do live performances, major tours, licensing deals, and maybe even sell merch, which all would have earned them a lot of money. Aaron's dad would even be earning money from the documentary episodes surrounding his family, as the song is featured in the episode itself. Even though their success didn't last long, due to Calvin aka Flo's murder, Lincoln's early career would have still generated millions, which easily set up Aaron for financial success. Let's say that Aaron was able to get 20% of Lincoln's fortune, so we'll just add another $1 million to the pile. Despite having enough money to live a lavish lifestyle, this episode also explores Aaron's life before he even put on a badge, including his career as a viral TikTok creator. His videos focused on lifestyle content, comedy, and rich kid commentary. During his peak, Aaron's TikTok account pulled millions of views, and he collaborated with major brands showing off things such as limited edition shoes and expensive cars. Based on the TikTok averages, if we were to say that he got 100 million views a month at a 30-cent RPM, which RPM means revenue per thousand views, This would mean that he was getting $30,000 per month from TikTok, which equates to $360,000 a year at his height. Aaron's success as a TikTok creator would not have been possible without his co-star and best friend Patrick Hayes. Unfortunately, Patrick wouldn't get to enjoy much of that success as he was murdered in Paris and the prime suspect was Aaron Thorsen. After misusing his parents' wealth, Aaron was sent off to a French private school to help change his behavior, but this move to Paris would end up leading to the worst moment of Aaron's life. The murder of Patrick Hayes in Paris became a global story, most likely due to the Thorns' infamous legacy, but this ultimately led to an unfair trial that caused Aaron to be convicted of Patrick's murder. This story is a particularly harrowing storyline in the show, as it references the real-life case of Amanda Knox. In Knox's case, she spent a total of 4 years in prison and went through 4 legal trials until it was ultimately overturned in 2015 by the Italian Supreme Court. The show uses Knox's case to highlight the emotional toll a false conviction can have on a person, but what the show does not do is talk about the financial issues that come along with it as well. Most people would already assume that legal fees, especially when hiring private attorneys, are extremely expensive, but there are hidden costs involved in a criminal trial as well. For example, defendants may need to pay for international lawyers, investigators, expert witnesses, and cases like this can easily cost $500,000 to over $1 million. So let's take off $750,000 to be in the middle. Also, as mentioned in the episode Real Crime, Yvonne mentioned that she moved to France in order to be closer to Aaron during his prison stint, also adding to the financial burden of the Thorsons, but we're not going to add any money that would be involved from this from Aaron's total. However, while it's never addressed in the show, there has been progress in providing retribution for wrongfully convicted people. For example, in the Amanda Knox case, the European courts ordered Italy to pay Knox when she was released. She received a total of 18,400 euros from Italy in response to police failures to provide her access to a lawyer and a translator during question. A similar thing may be available to Aaron, as in the episode Real Crime, Tim highlights the flaws in the police investigation, such as pointing out that Aaron's DNA was on the knife, the murder weapon. But that is not necessarily proof of his guilt, as he lived in the apartment where Patrick was murdered. Harper even made the argument that the police didn't pursue any other suspects for Patrick's murder due to him being a black man. Furthermore, the legal case against Aaron was biased against him due to the media's influence, as Bradford points out. The paparazzi completely contaminated the crime scene. Therefore, due to this mistake, Aaron may have been entitled to retribution from the French police, and had this been explored in the show, it would have provided an interesting angle to the legal system and its flaws. If we convert 18,400 euros to US dollars, that would be $21,391. So let's add that to the total. This isn't the only legal battle that Aaron has faced in the show. Right from the beginning of Aaron's story arc, Sergeant Gray reveals that he had filed a lawsuit against the LAPD in order to get into the academy. According to the Join LAPD website, the LAPD Academy has very strict qualifications for entry into the academy, which includes being at least 20 years old at the time of application, and candidates must be legally authorized to work in the US. But the thing most relevant to Aaron's initial rejection is the background check completed on all applicants. The Join LAPD website states, candidates who have a history of unethical or immoral behavior will not be hired. Unfortunately for Aaron, his past legal trouble in Paris would have made him an unappealing candidate for the LAPD. However, this doesn't mean that Aaron deserved to be rejected from the LAPD, as he was acquitted for Patrick's murder. This means that Aaron had a strong basis to sue the LAPD for unlawful discrimination. While this lawsuit allowed Aaron to get into the academy, it does mean that Aaron would need to cover the financial costs involved in a lawsuit, such as hiring a lawyer. But overall, it seems this decision worked out well for Aaron, as he got to pursue his dream. I'm going to say that $50,000 will be used for this lawsuit. Aaron's financial status not only helped him to get into the academy, but it also shaped who he is as a police officer. In Season 4, Episode 18, Backstabbers, Tim and Aaron are paired up, and Tim tries to get Aaron to find out what his superpower is. While Aaron throws out ideas, such as being able to solve cases in record-breaking time, Tim points out that his knowledge about certain things comes from being rich. For the most part, Tim is right, as we see earlier in this episode that Aaron is able to determine that a car had been stolen due to his links with the only Lamborghini dealers in Los Angeles. Tim compares Aaron to Batman, as he uses his money and class status to help enforce the law. While this may sound like an insult, Aaron's superpower has definitely come in handy on multiple occasions. For example, in the Season 5 premiere, when Aaron is able to source a private jet within 45 minutes for Tim and Lucy's undercover mission. Let's say that this private jet costed him $10,000 for the round trip, so we're going to take that off the total. But money isn't Aaron's only superpower. As Tim points out at the end of this episode, Aaron's most valuable asset is that he is experienced with the good and bad side of the legal system. This experience makes him more compassionate towards suspects, as he knows what it's like to be wrongfully convicted. Aaron even says in his first episode, "I will always strive to tip the scales towards justice because I know what it's like when they're tipped in the other way." As of today, Aaron has been written out of the show, but with Aaron's unique life experience, it would be great for the show to explore how someone with Aaron's wealth could contribute to police and legal reform. Hopefully, this is a possibility for the show, as while Aaron's character was left behind, he continues to be mentioned. For example, in Season 7, Episode 13, 3 Billboards, Harper mentions Aaron when talking about the police that signed her petition. Hopefully, this means that the door is open for True Valentino, the actor who plays Aaron Thorsen, to return. Please, please, please bring him back. Please. But for now, when answering the question, how much money does Aaron Thorsen currently have? We should add his current salary, which would now be between $94,735 and $124,236 per year. Let's go with $110,000 to be in the middle, and he was on the force for about 2 years before transferring over, so let's add $220,000 to the total. So in the end, this is the grand total for how much money Aaron Thorsen has. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to hype up this video if you're on mobile to show me some love, and subscribe to see more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.